We'll start with a quick summary of the video so you can skip right to the part that interests you the most. We'll start with the different reasons for losing consciousness, then a couple tricks to actually prevent this, then a couple shortcuts plus some general tips and tricks. So let's get right into it, I guess. There's 3 reasons for losing consciousness in Star Citizen. You have blacking out and redding out, which you probably know from other games, so I'm not going to waste too much time explaining what it is. But then you've got whitening out, which is specific for Star Citizen. I'll show you an example of what whitening out actually is. We'll start with an example of whitening out because of too much frontal acceleration. Now we'll take a look at a whiteout because of too much acceleration to the sides. Now, how do you prevent losing consciousness in Star Citizen? For the blackout and the redout, it's actually quite easy. Just try to spin the ship around when you start blacking out or redding out. This will actually reverse the effect because of which you will start doing the opposite. The 2 effects will obviously cancel each other, because of which you will remain conscious. So if you start blacking out, you'll start redding out if you spin the ship around.
Last chance to make final adjustments.
So as you can see, at this point in time I'm pulling some major negative G's. I just spin the ship around, negative G's turn to positive G's, and I remain conscious.
Hovering like that and still manage to hold the line.
Now that we know how to prevent a blackout and a redout, we'll take a look at how to prevent to get a whiteout. First of all, we have to note that there is 2 kinds of whiteouts, like we've seen already. There is the side whiteout and the front whiteout. You prevent the front whiteout by just letting go of the afterburner button when you see that the screen starts getting a little fuzzy. For the side whiteout, it's actually quite straightforward. Just try to never turn to the sides, or at least try to minimize it as much as possible. You do this because of the fact that a side whiteout is actually quite difficult to detect, and it's a lot easier to see a red out or a blackout coming. Now I'm going to end the video with a couple general tips that you can use and one of my races, so that you can see where the shortcuts are. My first tip would be to turn G-Sync off for sure, because it limits your maneuverability quite a bit. Then my second tip would be to turn ComStab off, although it's pretty difficult to fly with it off. Basically what ComStab does, it prevents drifting, so that means if you've got some speed to the left, to the right, upwards or downwards, it's going to disable the main thrusters and give the side thrusters some time to cancel out that speed, to get rid of that speed. So yeah, it basically limits your ability to use the main thrusters at some point, so it makes it a lot easier to fly. So I actually use it myself a lot, but if you want to be the best of the best, I guess you have to disable it. Then my last tip is pretty straightforward. It's basically just buy an M50. It's not that expensive with the in-game currency. It's 10,000 rec as of right now. And if you constantly lose races, that's gonna be about 3 hours of playtime, I think. If you constantly win, it's gonna be half an hour or less.